Hey, shout out to us. Forgot to hit record. That's on me.
Listen, we were deep into conversation.
Dude,
we
honestly,
totally forgot.
Let me tell you something.
Cheers to the Hooters.
Cheers to the Hooters. Save Hooters forever. Save Ferris. Save Ferris. Save Hooters. Listen. Okay. All right. Obviously, we know last time Paul was on here talking about his career. Now we're talking F1.
Hello.
Okay. The two experts in the friend group, us two.
That's right.
You got to deal with it. Sorry about it.
But let me say real quick, I had a lot of fun last time.
Oh, dude.
Thank you for asking me to come back. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time.
Incredible.
Great time.
Let me pull my logo up in the corner. Sorry about it. Look at that face with that beard. God bless. What a fella. Yeah, so, dude, like, honestly, like, thank you for coming back, first of all. I know I texted him, like,
2 days ago.
Yeah, late on Friday. I was like, dude, let's do a podcast on F1. We got to talk about the chaos.
Uh-huh.
Australia. Best way to describe it, caution when wet. That's what she said. Praise God, baby.
Praise God.
Oh, don't leave me hanging. But also, that race was chaos. All the rookies starting. Hajar, unfortunately, in the first lap, in the formation lap, crashed out. Goes Anthony Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton's dad. He consoles him. The camera, they got to get off of him. They just followed him
too long.
He
had such a build up for a rookie to get to where he was.
Yep.
To get a seat in F1. I mean, it's not easy.
It's not easy.
He's going to have emotion. He's a young guy. He had a lot to prove. And then to get it done like that in the formation lap, I'm sure was really emotional.
So tough.
But kudos to Anthony Hamilton to get out there and tell him that, everything's good. This is life. This is the sport that you're in. You got to keep going, get in the seat in the next one, and then just prove it was a mistake.
You just got to do it.
And he did.
Yeah, and he did. And then, honestly, like we talked about earlier before, we realized we weren't recording. Shout out to the camera guy. What the squats this fella's working on. I mean, he's
solid squat.
And he's just moving back.
Solid squat.
Oh, buddy's got the calf muscles like freaking
he's getting it done.
Mr. Olympia out there. Look at him. But Jesus Christ. Sorry about it. Sorry, Mom. But no, then you have like all the, you have all these people. And you got Jack Doohan, the home race in Australia.
That's right.
He wrecks in the first lap with his debut in Alpine.
Basically, like three turns after.
After that, he's in the wall.
Yeah.
Carlos Sainz with Williams, my second team.
Yeah.
In his debut race, he kind of overcorrects. He kind of hits the gas while he's hitting the brake at the same time. Ends up in the wall. It's unfortunate. Yeah. Just total chaos, total carnage the entire race. A lot of safety cars. Just everything in between. Then you got Fernando Alonso, the legend himself. He wrecks.
Yep. And I think it's got to be clear, and we kind of talked about it before. It doesn't matter what experience you have. The rain will test you.
Yeah.
The rain sets the men from the boys.
That's right.
Alonso's the most experienced driver out there.
Yeah. For
the longest period of time, and he's seen all conditions, and he's still binned it. You hit a white line, you touch a piece of grass, you're going to spin. It's exactly what happens in the wet. Doesn't matter what tire you're on.
Yep.
It will test you to your friggin' limit. That's for certain.
It's insane because, like, if you look at it, like, there's so many different results that can happen, especially in the rain. Like we talked about earlier, like Lewis Hamilton, he's a tire whisperer in the rain. Max is great in the rain.
Yeah.
Certain drivers are great in the rain. And then you put in the very first race, you have 5 rookies, and 3 of them
bend it.
Do not finish.
Yeah, that's experience.
But that's experience. That's experience coming in.
Yeah.
And we'll go over the results and stuff here in a second. But like honestly, my thing was, everybody said, "Oh, should they postpone the race on Monday?" No.
That's not how it works.
This is not how it works. We're not a bunch of punanis over here.
They don't get participation awards.
No. I mean, depending on what country you're in.
Yeah.
Canada. No, I'm kidding.
Hey.
Lance Stroll every time. Oh, sorry.
And the GOAT, Latifi.
What a guy.
Mr. Lavazza.
Mr. Rex, everybody.
Yeah.
No, so but my thing is like, if you look at that race and how you can prepare for it, you got to decide if, you got to have the strategy if you're going to go out in the intermediates or if you're going to go out in the wet tires.
Right.
And I feel like some of them got it right. Some of them didn't, obviously. But the fact that The fact that Lance Stroll, who's basically like me and you driving out there,
Oh, yeah.
finishes P6.
He
Yikes!
just stayed out of trouble. And I think
Yikes!
not because he was a great driver. Sorry, Lance, but I don't think you are. I think
I don't think
you
it
had
is.
to do what you had to do to get to there.
Yeah.
But I still feel like if Dad's paid your way in a little bit, it doesn't mean you're a good driver.
Old Daddy got him on the team.
That's right.
If he had to buy every team just for him to win, he probably
Right.
would. But you got to think about it. So going into that race, McLaren looks strong.
Oh, yeah.
The best way to describe it, McLaren looks strong.
Absolutely.
Max is going to be Max. Lewis and Charles are trying to figure everything out with Ferrari. And then you have everybody else. Like, that's just the best way to describe it. Obviously, with the full results, you have Lando gets P1. He wins the race.
Yep.
Pretty
Solid run.
Pretty
solid run.
Solid run.
All
Pretty
race,
easily.
Pit stop strategy, everything.
And you got Max at P2. And then you got George Russell, who did absolutely nothing the entire race. Didn't make any moves. Just sat like a duck. Got P3.
Yeah.
Kimi Antonelli, he started further back, but obviously with the wrecks, the caution flags, and safety cars, he moved his way up to P4. But, I mean, shout out to him. I mean, he had an incredible drive for an 18-year-old who just started in F1. I give it to him. Shout out to Alex Albon for Williams, though. P5. Incredible drive by him.
But I still think Williams are going to be ones that are going to be close to best of the rest.
Exactly, like we said earlier before we realized
we press record.
Yeah, before we realized we weren't fucking recording.
You should have been here. Why were you? Why
honestly,
honestly,
if you would have heard it, you'd been mesmerized. We should be
100%.
Listen, if they don't give us Paddock Club passes for media, they're out of their minds. Because me and Paul,
we're there.
We're there. Save Hooters. But anyway, so Alex Albon, what a great job. We're gonna have them as best of the rest. They're gonna be, right around P4.
Oh yeah.
P5 in constructors.
100%.
Maybe P3. I think they can do it.
Yep.
If they get it together, I think they can.
But they've got two good drivers. Mercedes, I think, might be the fourth.
I agree.
I'll tell you. I think there's enough there that Carlos and Alex together as a team could potentially earn more points than Kimi and George.
Absolutely.
As a team. I think there's a lot more potential. Williams have put it together really well over the last 12 months, plus having the experience of Alex and Carlos is gonna have a big potential push.
Cherry on the top right there.
Yep.
And then you got Lance Stroll at P6.
Yeah.
So me and Paul finished P6.
Yeah.
That's the way
we forgot to wear green today.
Yeah, we did. I mean, sorry about it. It's not St. Patty's Day anymore.
No.
Then you got Nico at 7, putting Kick Sauber at their best finish ever. Dragged that car to the finish line.
He did well.
Then you got Charles Leclerc at with Ferrari at P8, so points there, and then Piastri, who was basically like we said earlier, when you touch the grass and rain on the track or any type of wet surface like that, it's very hard to get out.
Mm-hmm.
He did somehow. I don't know how he did it, but he did.
Yeah, and those areas are designed to slow the car down too.
Yeah.
So the fact that he got bogged and then
made it out,
had to get out, he pushed that freaking car. I wasn't surprised he wasn't like leaning into the wheel and like trying to get the car to rock out of it. Well, he got it, backed it out, got back on track, finished 9.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible that he did. And then
there's
Lewis,
potential.
Obviously, Lewis, my favorite driver with Ferrari, his first race with Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
At one point was leading the race. Had a chance if he would have stayed out on those tires rather than coming in the pit. I think the strategy really
messed it up a little bit.
I think the strategy really screwed him and Charles both.
Yep.
With their drive.
Yep.
To finish 8 and 10, but
let's talk about them real quick.
Yeah.
Fast all weekend.
Fast, bro.
All freaking weekend.
So fast.
They were ready to go out all guns blazing.
Yeah.
Vasseur, he got the team right where it needed to be. The drivers were ready to get into it. And, it's unfortunate that, again, the Ferrari friggin' strategy we all know and love just messed with them again.
Every time.
Every freaking time.
Even
if you're a true Ferrari fan.
Yeah, if you're true to Fosi.
That's the shit that ruins it every freaking year.
It kills you every time because they're in so many races.
Yep.
And they're in contention for all these races, and then just you got to think about it like the strategy just absolutely kills them every time. And then we got my man Pierre
Gasly
and P11. Shout out to him dragging that Alpine across the thing.
it's a tractor.
It's a tractor.
Yeah,
Like I
It's a
said
tractor.
earlier, but before we realized we weren't recording,
Yeah, where were you?
I have seen tractors in my hometown move faster than they did going to the Sheetz parking lot to get gas.
We even suggested they should change the team colors to green and gold. They're going to be John Deere next year.
John Deere Green. Shout out to Joe Diffie, R.I.P. to him. What a legend. But John Deere Green. You know, Charlene likes it up in John Deere Green. Praise God. I should call her.
Yeah.
I don't even know any Charlene's, honestly. Never met one. But then you got Yuki Tsunoda and Racing Bulls, P12. Ocon with Haas, P13. Ollie Behrman in his kind of rookie full season with Haas, P14.
Full year at sea.
Yeah. And then you got Hajar, Jack Doohan.
Yep.
Carlos Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Gabriel Bortoleto.
Yep. And
Liam
our boy,
Lawson.
Liam Lawson. We'll get to him in a minute.
Pete, all 6 of them.
Yeah.
Out.
Wiped.
Wall.
Absolutely wiped.
Different issues. All this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
the issue was the wall.
Yeah. Honestly.
The issue was the wall.
Build it. Yeah, that's right, Canada, Mexico. We're building it.
Yep.
Shout out. Anyway, not to get political.
No.
But
not yet.
not yet. But like what we were saying, like the funniest thing about that race is that it was a Louis Vuitton Australian Grand Prix.
Listen, Louis Vuitton is French. How is the French company sponsoring an Australian event? Listen, we'll take it.
They're about to take over.
If they're going to start putting manufacturing over there, I mean, by all means.
They're gonna make you drink Foster's.
That's
real.
right. Next time.
I feel like my dad's the only one that keeps Australian beer like
Loves
Foster's
it.
alive
Loves
because
a drum.
nobody drinks it over there.
We don't drink it.
But yeah, so I mean, it was definitely an interesting race. It's just pure chaos. I mean, if you think about it though, all those wrecks, everybody crashing out, everybody just going into the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to prepare for that amount of rain because there was so much on race day.
Yeah.
That I don't think that like. I don't think anybody can really prepare for it. Like honestly, like when you get like Max and you get Lewis, who are really good in rain, you got Lando who drove really well in the rain.
Yeah.
And others that just really performed well, but they kind of just maintained. They didn't really push it. They didn't really.
Well, you couldn't push through it.
You couldn't.
No,
you couldn't because there's just no way. Because
the
if you
risk.
do,
yeah,
we're doing donuts in the parking lot like it's a snowstorm outside.
Exactly.
But I feel like it was a really great race. Obviously, our time it's a lot later in the night than it is over there because obviously it's like 12 or 14 hours ahead, so it's a little different. But I stayed up for it and all the caution flags and safety cars and all that. I realized I was out of beer.
Yeah.
So
the race definitely went a little bit longer than anticipated.
No, I was like Cousin Eddie. I was like shitter's full. But so we were we were watching that and at the end of the day, McLaren looks tough. McLaren looks fast. They look incredibly fast. They had the strategy.
Mm-hmm.
They look tough.
Yep.
Max and Red Bull, it's just Max. Let's just be honest. I can't stand him. I hate him.
Yep.
But he's a talented driver. I must admit that.
He is.
He's very talented. And then you got like Mercedes. Let's be honest. In Australia, they really lucked into it because they didn't really do anything. They did.
There was no push. There was no forward movement. It was just let's hold back.
Yep. There was
let's
no
just
strategy.
go with what's happening. Just get it to the finish line, and then that'll give you points.
Yeah, it's like going to the best way to describe it's like going to an amusement park.
Yeah,
there's so much stuff there. Mm-hmm. You're just like, you know what? Let's just wing it and see what happens.
Yep.
We'll just go wherever we want to go, and we'll ride whatever ride we want to. But then they're just like, we're just going to be sitting ducks and hope for the best.
Well, I don't even think their strategy pushed them to get further forward. I think it was kind of just when one car went ahead, they would just go in.
Agreed.
And just enough to get them through to the points. And I think, well, congratulations, you did it. But did it prove that your car was fast? No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think it did. And, but I mean, like, honestly, like for Kimi, like in his first race, he gets P4. Obviously, that's like a huge momentum boost.
Absolutely.
A whole confidence boost.
Yeah.
But honestly, like if you look at it, like I know we were talking about it earlier, like it's nothing against Norris, but he bottled a lot of races last year.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. He should have won a lot more than he did.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm happy for him that he won because Lando no wins on Drive to Survive.
Right.
Honestly, I cackled at it, but I was like, dude, that's gotta suck to have that as
Oh, I
your
know.
nickname. Like if you called me Chasing
Lando
no,
no
if you
wins.
called me Chasing no wins, buddy, I'm playing in traffic the next day. That's terrible.
That's right.
That's terrible. But
Where's the nearest bridge?
yeah, not too far. but no, not going to be for me.
No.
But I honestly, like we were talking about earlier before we were recording, I feel like Oster.
That's half Australia, half Oscar.
Yeah,
Oscar.
Let me hold
Oscar.
my Oscar up real quick. I won it. But I feel like he's got the pace to actually compete with Norris. That he could be, like you said earlier, 2 to 3 years. He's going to be in the driver championship contention.
Listen, I'm telling you now, if McLaren, I'm going to say it. This is going to be a hot take.
I agree.
If McLaren want a driver to challenge the best drivers, I think they should put their eggs in the Oscar basket. I'll tell you now. And it's another hot take.
Happy Easter.
Yeah, right. Happy Easter.
For Oscar.
Max, like you said, talented driver.
Yeah.
But he drives that car like a knife's edge. But McLaren have the car to beat.
Yep.
And if Oscar's got the potential as a driver, I think he might be the one where Zach might just go, push him in the front a little bit.
Yeah, let's ease him into it and then just see what happens. But
I think
he's got a pace up.
He's got the pace. You watch everything change by the end of race 4.
Oh yeah,
where Lando and Oscar sit.
Yep.
Then you'll see the direction of the team.
I'm interested
before summer break.
Agreed. That's
before
what I was about
summer
to say.
break.
That's what I was about to say. I'm interested to see after summer break what happens to that.
Yeah.
I know they say that you race cleanly between the two. I don't think that's going to be a thing after that. I think they're going to race hard against each other.
Especially Lando. Especially if Oscar gets as good as he is and can prove it.
He's
and
a
there's
talented
more
young
wins
driver.
than Lando. Lando's going to be pissed.
Well, that's the thing. Like he's got to step it up because like we'll get to the Chinese race in a minute, but like if you look at it though, like Australia race flawless.
Yep.
Speed.
Yep.
He had the pace. He
Power, strength, all the stuff.
He managed the battery well. He managed the tires well. He held off Max. He held off everybody. Like I give it to him. He really did.
He certainly did.
We're gonna get into the dog days coming up. June, July, and August when those races start to matter. Let's gonna see if up top in the ticker area is gonna be okay.
That's right.
Because
it's more mental than physical.
It's more mental than physical. I mean, they're in tip-top shape, but up here, gotta be.
You'll see who the real winner is.
Yeah, you can't be out
especially coming after the summer break.
Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like if Piastri puts in more performances like he has. Lando, you better watch out, buddy. Because
Oscar might be holding a trophy.
We might have somebody that takes over as the priority number 1.
Yep.
But it's just an interesting thing when you think about it because they got 2 great drivers in McLaren. They had the pace, they had the speed, they had the strategy.
Yep.
They're pretty. I would say they're pretty good at managing tires, both of them. And Zach Brown, like I'm a big fan of his. He wants to win. He knows how to win, and he's going to continue to do so.
Yeah.
But there's always that piece of shit in the rearview mirror.
That's right.
Max Verstappen.
That's right.
He's always there.
So we've got.
I'm just going to take a minute to let my anger
sizzle over. Yeah.
I can't stand him.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many people cheat other than Horner and my ex-fiance. It's unbelievable.
Well, let me tell you.
So let's just be honest.
So recently, this week, there's been gossip about his future, which we didn't talk about before. So
see ya, pal.
You don't know what's going to happen. This is the year. This is the year for Max to really open up his eyes. His dad always has his own opinion about everything, but
his dad has the same girlfriend as Horner. So
well, there you go. So Max. If you're listening.
Probably not.
But if you do.
We do have an international fan base.
We do. Really just use this year as your final hurrah.
Honestly, if you want to finish just P5 and to P10, dude, we're not going to fault you for it.
No,
just
not at all.
do your thing, man. Just go ahead. P5 through P10.
Take a couple of
Yeah,
dives.
get your points.
You'll get out of that contract easy
Yeah.
because the car's not performing.
Yeah, you might get 1 win, maybe 2 here and there.
That's it. Well,
Just get it out.
just keep it warm.
I know we were talking about it earlier, but my forearm muscle right now with this beer in my hand looks absolutely astounding.
Nice. Good job.
Astounding. It's on my offhand.
There you go. You got ambidextrous.
Putting in the weights. No. But anyway, so we got to talk about it real quick.
Go for it.
Aston Martin.
Yep.
We got to.
Yep.
We talked about it earlier
Mm-hmm.
when we weren't recording.
Yeah. When we weren't recording.
When we weren't recording.
I hope that microphone's working right now.
It's got.
We're like 15 minutes in,
So.
and we
I hope so. It's in the cup holders over here. The amount of expectations they had with Adrian Newey coming in, developing the car.
Yeah.
Obviously, 2026 is probably going to be their focus, but 2025 they had high expectations for.
Yeah.
Fernando out in first race. Lance Stroll, basically
Sixth.
scores points, P6.
Yeah.
I'm not confident in them. I'm not confident in them at all.
Listen, go back a couple of years when Alonso moved in.
Yep.
Alonso got podium on the first race.
First race.
Podium first race.
First
He
race.
got top 4 the next 2 or 3 and then went down P5, P6, and then the car sort of dropped off.
He literally hit every position but
I
P1.
see a little mirroring happening here,
I think
a
so
little
too.
bit.
I think so,
Unfortunately.
I
Sorry,
think so.
Lawrence.
Yeah, well, he can just buy another team and
Yeah,
hope to
yeah,
God
yeah.
him and his son wins
Yeah.
at least one.
Right. Buy a second team so Lance could be the
Yeah.
number 1 in that one.
Yeah, exactly.
And put someone good
exactly.
in this one.
Exactly.
With Newey and stuff.
Yeah, no, totally. And then you got kind of the midfield teams. Like Williams, like we said, I think they're going to cause problems. I think they're going to be.
Mhm.
I think they're going to be in contention. Racing Bulls, whatever. At this point,
It's hard to say. I think,
Haas. I think that Haas is going to score a lot more points than we expect.
yeah,
Especially
especially if the Ferraris are as good as they are, because a lot of
Mhm.
their parts go to the Haas now.
Yep. Ferrari
The Haas
engines.
might be up there. I think,
Yep.
by summer, we're going to see a big shake-up on sort of the order of of things.
Oh yeah, and then let's be honest, Kick Sauber, bottom.
Sorry, boys.
Sorry.
When
about
does
it.
Audi come?
2026.
When's Audi?
Sorry about it. And then you
When
got
does Audi
then
move
you
in?
got Cadillac coming in too. Oh boy,
Well, hello,
and we're
Mr.
gonna have 22 drivers and 11 teams. Oh buddy,
Things are gonna
Andretti shaking it up.
So let's go. Who do you think is going to be in those seats?
So
Because they're going to be what engine?
they're gonna be Ferrari.
So they're going to be another Ferrari.
Yep.
Who do you think they're going to put in those seats, in the Cadillac seats?
So my initial thought was a little different than what the recent reports I've seen.
Yeah.
So my initial thought was it's going to be Carlos Herta.
Yep.
From IndyCar.
Yep.
Because he's been with Andretti forever.
Forever.
So I figured he was going to make the jump over to F1.
They basically groomed him for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they're going to move him over, and then they were going to put Valtteri Bottas as
that
as
second
a
seat.
second seat.
Yeah.
But now, rumor is it's going to be Valtteri at 1,
Mhm.
Checo at 2.
Dang. Perez? Second chance?
Listen,
Little Hail Mary there?
let's have a heart-to-heart real quick.
Here we go. Let's go.
Bring it in. Bring it in. Bring it in. If you want your car to be in the body shop all the time,
Hi, Perez.
Checo into the wall-o is what we call him.
Oh, check out to the Wallo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to get confused with Wall-E, the
Mm.
Disney movie. What a film. But Checo into the wall is pretty much,
That's where it's at.
well, let's just put it what it is. It's Donald Trump building one and he's running into it. No problem.
Yeah.
So, not to get political. Sorry about shout out. But that's the driver lineup. I think that would probably be
Valtteri, I see.
Valtteri. I see for sure.
Big potential. Big potential there.
Checo.
Yeah, I don't know about Checo. I don't know if that's the way to go.
I don't. Honestly, here's what I think. If they do bring over Erica, or if they bring over Pato O'Ward,
Mm.
the problem is O'Ward's under McLaren,
Yeah.
so I doubt they let him in or let him out of that contract because he wins so many races over in IndyCar.
Correct.
But if Andretti strikes a little deal with Zach Brown and Arrow McLaren on that side, we might be talking about a different story here.
Andretti got deep pockets. He got deep pockets.
I mean,
hey, Andretti, if you want to sponsor us, we would love a little Chase place at the old Andretti factory.
One of my buddies, shout out to Cody Kaufman. What a legend that he is. What a fella. He's good friends with him. So let me tell you something, Andretti. If you want a guy or two guys here, knocked it again. Sorry about that. I'm getting real serious right here. I'm getting real serious. If you want two guys that are going to get you VIP tickets, Paddock Club tickets, bring you in a lot of money, and show you that we can party, but also no F1. That's 5 things. That's 5. That's a criteria. That's a resume.
Listen, we're not going just for the drinks and booze. We're there for
that's
the
right.
Formula
That's a
1.
resume, fan. That's 5 things we know.
We're right there.
I promise you, we will get you top 5.
100%.
Constructors Championship, whatever you want, we'll get you top 5.
We can do it.
Yep. Trust me.
We know the
But
deal.
anyway, shout out to Andretti. Shout out to Cody Kaufman. What a legend. Thank you, brother. I don't know. It's going to be interesting what they do with that.
Schumacher was let off.
Yeah.
But does he have potential?
Yes. I think so.
But
did he have a chance with Haas?
No. See, that's the thing.
No.
You got a Schumacher name. You got your dad and your uncle who have been in the sport long enough to know. But
the uncle needs to disappear.
Well, we're not talking about that right now. But, is it enough? Is it enough for you to get another seat?
Yeah.
Have you proved yourself? Well, he's been doing Le Mans and all that stuff.
And he's been doing pretty well.
He's been doing really well. So he's got great potential as a driver. But is it enough to get another seat?
I don't think so.
And
unfortunate.
Would Andretti be willing to do that?
Well, maybe I think if they go with a veteran and they go for a young gun, I think that's definitely possible. But
I got it. Mazepin. Bring Mazepin back. Mazepin and Latifi. Bam. You're sold. Hello, welcome to Paul's place.
I had to take a walk.
A little walk away.
Yeah, Latifi and Mazepin. Dude, honestly.
Could you imagine?
Honestly,
imagine that repair bill.
Imagine me swimming naked with great white sharks. It's not going to end well.
No, it won't.
Well, it might because,
praise God.
Praise God. Love sharks. They're my favorite animals. They understand.
Yeah,
I already made a deal with him. If I get killed by a shark, guess what, buddy? I'm riding shotgun to heaven. So it's all good.
Done.
It's all good.
I'll bring you back in an urn. I promise.
Just throw me in the water while you're at it, too.
Sprinkle it a little bit.
Let him finish the job.
Yeah.
Oh, God. No, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting thing when Andretti comes over in Cadillac.
Well, they always say the summer break always brings chaos for the next season. So it's going to be interesting. Maybe the summer break, based on the results of the first half of the race year,
it's going to be interesting.
Is going to be seeing, well, okay, maybe you're not performing really well.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Hajar.
Yeah.
You might have to open up a seat and then sort of see what happens after that.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know.
But moving
and
on.
Andretti will move in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But moving on to the second race with the Chinese Grand Prix.
Bring back Vettel.
Bring
back Vettel.
Bring him back. Well,
listen.
Your wife would love to have Sebastian back. That's her favorite.
She doesn't need any more excitement in her life.
Smooth operator. Shout out to Carlos Sainz. No, but so we move in the Chinese Grand Prix a little bit more of ideal conditions on the court on the track. The only thing I will say though, when you resurface the track, those the tire temps, they start getting a little spotty. They get a little hotter.
Yep.
A lot easier.
Yep.
So
and there's no grip.
There's no grip.
Because it's fresh.
There's no
it's
grip.
Slick. It is slick on a track, especially with there's no rubber burnt down.
Yeah.
Bring back my single days.
God, it sounds like high school all over again. Shout out. No, but if you look at like free practice and stuff like we were talking about earlier, like Lando had the speed.
Yeah.
Like he looked well.
Both looked dominant. Both cars looked dominant.
Him and Piastri looked dominant. They were P1, P3. They were moving quick.
Yeah.
Leclerc had a nice lap there towards the end to get him kind of in contention at P2.
Yeah.
Lewis was not far behind at P4. I kind of look at practices as like as a foreshadowing to how qualifying is going to go, but you never know because qualifying is such chaos.
Always.
It's always madness.
They turn the dial to 11, and then that's you know it's a different car from practice.
Yeah, exactly. So it's always something. Whenever you see it, like you look at practice, you're like, okay, they're like kind of sandbagging. They're trying to, get a feel for the car. They're trying to get the laps that they want. But then they're also trying to hit the speed laps too.
Right.
And then you get to qualify, and you're just like, okay, I don't really know what to expect, but I'm hopeful. Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Lewis goes out there, buddy, and sets the track record. The track record on lap time.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like we were talking about earlier, they said, that's San Diego.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Ron Burgundy.
Ron Burgundy.
I'm thinking the Padres. I'm like, who gives a fuck about the Padres right now? The baseball season hasn't even started yet. And then Ron Burgundy. Like, shut up.
What's San Diego and Wales vaginas got to do with Ferrari?
Yeah. Discovered in 1905 by the Germans. I was like, what cologne you going with? London Gentleman? Blackbeard's Delight?
Yeah.
No. Sex Panther. Sex Panther by Odeon. They've done studies. 60% of the time they say it works every time. I'm not going to lie to you, Brian. That makes zero sense.
He never lied.
That smells like pure gasoline.
Yeah.
No. He goes out there and he sets a blistering lap. And they get on the mic, and I'm sitting there and on the comms, and they're like, that's San Diego. I'm like, what are they talking about?
What are you talking about, San Diego?
It's not even vacation. The season just started. Vacation's not for like 9 months from now.
Right.
But anyway, I figured out that means P1. Yeah. That means he got pole.
There we go.
So we get to the sprint shootout. He gets P1. He just inches the car in front of Max's on the time, and then we kind of get to the shootout.
Mm-hmm.
I hate. I'll be honest, everybody. I hate sprint races. I hate them.
I think it's detrimental to the team. It puts wear on the car.
Agreed.
And potential to not make qualifying that same day.
Yeah, and on the fuel. And the fuel too. You only get so much fuel per weekend.
So,
obviously they account for that with the shootout or the sprint because they have to have a little bit more fuel.
Right.
Obviously within the regulations.
Yeah. However, let's get to it.
Lewis goes out there and he wins his first sprint race. I tell you what, it was like 3:00 in the morning, dude. I'm out here shouting to the Lord, letting them know, thank you, God, let him win.
Pacing around, screaming and yelling.
Praise God, we're out here.
I believe it.
Lewis Hamilton's winning. I got the shirt on. I don't have any pants on. That's true. In my boxers, just praising the Lord, letting him win.
That's right.
And then we get to race day.
Yeah. Well, let's just take a pause. Race day. Take a pause.
Yeah.
China, notorious for being a fast track.
Very fast.
Long straights.
Yep.
Big, wide, long turns.
That's what she's
like. And
especially big
Ferraris are built for it. Ferraris are built for it. Ferraris are built for China.
So is Chase.
Yeah, there we go. So, the potential was there. And Lewis proved it on Saturday in the sprint. And, hold on, Leclerc definitely had a lot of potential there too.
He had so much potential.
So it wasn't like it was just a one-horse race, literally. It was theirs to be taken. However,
I just couldn't help but think of Old Town Road whenever you said it's one-horse race. I'm sorry. Take my horse.
Old Town Road.
But so yeah, we'll get into it. Obviously, things kind of go south for us with Ferrari and Tifosi. Lewis and Charles Leclerc both disqualified for the race.
Yeah.
And Pierre Gasly as well, unfortunately. It's tough because you go from winning the sprint race and you're on
a high.
You're on a high. I mean, it's like the best way to describe it is like, you're up here. If you did it ever in your life, or if you know what it's like you cocaine up top here. Your ultimate high. And then, brush the teeth, bro. And then you're up here, and then come Sunday for the race, you get disqualified at the end of the race when you're in contention at P5 and P6 for Leclerc and Hamilton.
Which are huge points.
So you're up here. You're at the top. You're like, dude, I'm feeling good. I got some confidence. I won my first sprint race. And then now I'm DNF. Dead.
Yeah. Dead in the water.
Dead in the water. Sharks around.
So for those of you who don't know, who don't follow Formula One that much, the car has to be within a certain guideline at the end of a race. It's got to have a certain amount of fuel. It's got to stay a certain amount of weight.
Yeah.
It's got to stay a certain amount of what's called the floor. The floor is like a piece of wood. It literally is a piece of wood. It's got to have a certain amount of depth on it. It can't go below a certain depth, which is what caused Lewis to be disqualified. Apparently, it was underneath the minimum depth of, I think it's like 2 mil or something like that.
Yeah, something like
it's
that.
It's a really weird number. And Leclerc got DNF because there was less fuel than what was required. I think it's about a gallon.
Yeah, it's like a gallon.
It's like if you're less than a gallon, because they have to do tests and stuff. If you're less than a gallon, then you're disqualified, and that's basically what happened.
That's exactly what happened, and it's unfortunate. And what could have been double points weekend turned into no points.
Right.
So it's a lot.
It was a great weekend coming from sprint to then get the double points.
Yep.
And then get that taken away. I mean, sucks. I could imagine those conversations.
They got to be tough in the paddock.
In the post race.
Yeah.
Would have sucked.
It's got to be tough in the paddock. And, but my thing is it's unfortunate, but it's something you can build on for the next race. Obviously, they had a week in between. They're going to Japan next. So you can build off that. You can kind of a little bit. Let's get a better strategy, Ferrari. What do you say? Let's get a little better strategy here on what we're going to do.
Yep.
But we'll read the race results and we'll kind of touch on it, and we're going to get into a little bit more of the
chaos,
and drama going on.
Drama.
So Oscar Piastri sets a lap record as well.
Yep.
In the race, so shout out to him. Dominated the entire time. I mean, he won by over 9 seconds.
I mean, that's huge.
Almost 10 actually. It was 9.7.
Yeah.
So almost 10 seconds.
Yep.
Lando Norris, his teammate at P2.
Shows the dominance of McLaren.
Exactly. McLaren
shows the dominance of what they've come from last year.
Dude.
They're pushing forward, which is
even
good to see.
Even before that, when they were duds, like they could never finish races.
No.
Or if they did,
reliability issues.
If they did, they dragged it across the finish line for P19 and P20.
Yeah.
And now here they are, 1 and 2, top dogs.
Yeah.
So shout out to them. And then George Russell, who did absolutely nothing again to get P3, did nothing. He didn't make any moves.
No.
Like his only move was P4 to P3.
Well, which I think was based on the stop. It wasn't even based on him overtaking anybody.
Yeah, he didn't overtake anybody.
We see you, George.
And then Verstappen, P4.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. And then how about shout out to him? The old French fellow himself, Esteban Ocon for Haas at P5.
Jesus, let me tell you.
Moved that car like Clark Griswold on Vegas Vacation, baby.
Hello.
What a fella.
Hello.
What a guy. That's all I have to say about that. And then Kimi at P6. Now he made some moves. I will say he drove well.
He qualified a little bit further back, but he definitely had the right idea with the car and pushed and
he drove well.
Proved that he is a driver to stay long term. He's not just a 1 month, one season.
Yeah, and he's
1 month. I'm already talking Lawson.
God, what is he, a baby? Or Liam Lawson. That's true.
He's a long term driver. I think he's got potential and he's got a lot of tenacity to get to where he wants to be. And
I like him. I don't have anything against him. I like him. Yeah, and plus he's Italian, so good for him.
Submit the ball.
I love a spaghetti meatball. Then you got Alex Albon at P7. So shout out to Williams.
Yeah.
I was so thrilled about that. I really was.
2 races back to back, 6 and 7. I mean,
points.
Points wise, that's huge, but proves that the car's there.
So the thing is, they tied their points in the first 2 weekends than they did last year.
The whole 12 months last year.
The whole 12 months last year. So shout out to him.
Hello.
James Vols, he's got it down. He knows what he's doing. And JB, honestly,
he knows what he's doing. He's got the team right where he needs it right now.
That's not me pitching for my job. That's just me being honest.
We'll call it early. I think it's best of the rest for the end of the year.
I agree. Yeah. And then Ollie Behrman, look at him. Again, P8.
Haas in the top
Haas is moving.
8.
Double points.
That's crazy.
Double points for both of them. So you got 5 and 8. P5 and P8 for Haas. So that's shout out to him. And then our old buddy, just us. Me and Paul out there on a Sunday drive on the track,
dressed in green.
Not going fast, dressed in green, which is a great color on me, not gonna lie to you. Go Herd. Lance Stroll.
Womp womp.
P9. Carlos Sainz finishing out P10 with 1 point for the Williams. So double points on the weekend. So
Double points.
It's nice. It's nice to see for them. I'm like, shout out to them. I'm happy for them.
Absolutely.
Really
I just want the strategy to match
Listen,
the car.
listen.
That's it.
Hey, listen, if Ferrari, if it's Lewis or Charles can't win it, I want Williams to win it. That's it.
I'm all about it.
All about it. Then you got Hajar.
Which I will say.
Bad result first round.
Yep.
Proves himself the next round at
Yep.
P11, almost just outside of the points.
Listen, I think Racing Bulls might have some potential, but that doesn't mean they're going to win every race. I think
we'll get to that.
the car has potential at certain tracks.
I agree.
I think that's where it's at. I think
agree.
they're not a long, fast, high-pace car.
Right.
I think it's got a lot more potential in a tight, twisty track.
Agreed.
Maybe a couple of city tracks coming up, which I think could be a better race for them.
I feel like they're more of a street race team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, I think the street tracks, I think they do well on.
Yep.
Liam Lawson at 12 with Red Bull, Jack Den, P13 for Alpine. Then Gabriel Bortoleto. Kick Sauber at 14.
Yeah.
P15, Nico Hülkenberg for Kick Sauber. Yuki Tsunoda for Racing Bulls at P16. Fernando Alonso had to retire due to engine issues
Yeah.
for Aston Martin. So back-to-back DNFs.
It's not looking good for his manager.
Not looking great, brother.
Tell you now.
Not looking good. Those contract negotiations coming up are going to be fierce.
Listen.
Let's just be honest. They're going to be difficult. Leclerc, Hamilton, Pierre Gasly, they get to the end of the race. They're actually in contention, all three of them, for points.
Yeah.
Things go a little different.
Little south.
They go a little difficult for them.
Little south for them.
Unfortunately, that's just the name of the game.
Yeah.
Tough business that we're in.
That's it. Now.
We got to touch on this.
We got to go. I've been waiting all this time. I've been waiting to talk about this shit right now.
We got to touch on this. There's a right way to do things and there's a wrong way to do things.
Agreed.
And the best way I can describe it, I'm going to get a little into it real quick. The situation with Racing Bulls and Red Bull.
Let's go there.
So Red Bull, we're going to put it into a dating perspective here.
Yeah.
This is the best way to describe it because it's the only way I can really think to put into context that people will understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're dating a girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fellas, you're dating a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's going well. You love her. She loves you.
Yep.
You're higher than a hog. You're
Mm-hmm.
having a great time.
Yep.
You're having a great time.
Yep.
Dates are great. You're enjoying yourself. You're going on trips together.
Yep.
You love each other. But then there's the Instagram fellas that are creeping on the side. That are in the DMs.
We're going there.
They're in the picture likes.
Mm.
They're in the Snapchats.
Mm.
The numbers are going up.
Mm.
The best way to describe it.
Yep.
She gone.
She out of there.
She went for them. She loves you. She cares about you.
Yeah.
But she wants him.
But she wants the man she tells you to worry about.
Because she turned him down first, right?
That's right.
Yuki Tsunoda and Liam Lawson.
I feel like it's like Law and Order right now. Dum, 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 dum. Special Victims Unit.
These are their stories.
These are their stories.
No, but like for real, that's the best way to describe it. Like, so Red Bull was attracted to the Instagram stories, the likes, the DMs. They loved the Snapchats that they were getting.
Yeah.
The Snapchats were in the chat section. They were
They like
"Oh,
the attention.
I love this. I love the attention. I know a lot of girls like that. I'm not going to shout them out or anything. I'm not going to say their names, but I know who you are. Let's just put it that way.
Yep.
They didn't realize that they had the winning ticket
Just sitting in the wings.
just sitting in the wings. The guy that's going to do it all for you. He's going to give you the results. Everything that you want and desire. He's going to show you the way,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to give you everything that you want.
That's right. It's in the bag.
It's in the bag.
Look, a hot take. I'll give you a little hot take. I think Yuki is the Japanese Max Verstappen. He's got the cursing and the swearing and the aggressiveness.
Yep.
Calls it like it is.
Much shorter, though.
I think
Much shorter.
definitely not a height thing.
He's 5'1", maybe 5'2".
Probably half the size of Max.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. I think it's a better potential.
Mm-hmm.
Much better potential.
I agree.
Yuki he's just like that guy that is just like in your ear constantly.
Yeah, he's there.
He's like the Joe Pesci of Formula One.
Yeah.
Like, and he's like going at it full stop.
He's like spring break in Miami. He's just spitting game.
But when it comes out, like Godfather, he pulls out a freaking gun. He's popping away and he's killing him like he wanted to.
Yeah, shine my shoes.
That's right. So I think Yuki has more potential in a Red Bull than Liam Lawson did.
I agree.
Liam Lawson was just still too fresh, too new
Yeah.
to put in the big boys. He needed a season. I think if it came down to summertime, again, summertime always causes that chaos.
Absolutely.
If Lawson stayed at Racing Bulls till summer, but gave Yuki the seat at Red Bull from the start of the season, that would have then given you the free time to say, okay, Yuki's not working out.
Yep.
Yuki does some good things, does some bad things, but I feel like Yuki would be giving them points
Exactly.
throughout the first half of a year.
Yep.
It would then make Liam's job a lot harder because Liam really suited that Racing Bulls car.
I thought so too.
He had
honestly.
great potential. End of
Great
last
results,
year,
too.
great
Yeah.
results. Had a lot of good races, solid races. But
Yep.
to have him flip to go straight into a Red Bull straight away, I mean,
That's tough.
Chris-
That's tough for anybody.
so here's the question. Here's a good question. Was it Christian or Helmet that put him in the seat? Is Liam Lawson the new Daniel Ricciardo where Christian thinks he's the godson? Or do you think Helmet was the like,
That's such a good
no,
question.
we got to get Yuki the seat?
That's such a good question. All right. I will say this.
Yeah.
It could be misconstrued.
Yeah.
It could be taken different ways.
Yeah.
I don't think either of them wanted Yuki on the team.
You don't think anyone wanted Yuki?
I feel like if you look at it,
Yeah.
when Racing Bulls or, when before, it was Toro Rosso and then it became, AlphaTauri and then it went to Racing Bulls.
Yep.
And it switched to Honda
Yeah.
and Yuki was a Japanese driver
Who's sponsored by Honda?
who's sponsored by Honda. They put him in the seat which is fine. I mean, that's what
You got to please the sponsors.
Yeah, which was what Nico Hulkenberg's doing next year for Audi.
That's
he's
exactly
a German
right.
driver. He's moved
German
to-
for Audi.
and that makes sense.
We get it.
and that makes sense.
We get it.
But can we be honest about Nico or not Nico? Sorry, Helmut Marko and Christian Horner.
Right. Which is obvious they don't get along.
They don't get along.
They don't get along.
They don't get along. They don't like each other.
Not at all.
They're professional in the business sense.
Yeah.
In that way.
Yep.
But I don't think they really see eye to eye.
No. They
And-
definitely have different viewpoints.
Yes.
Very
exactly.
much so.
Exactly. And the way they treat their drivers, I feel like it is a one-way street of two terrible people treating people terribly.
Yep.
And I don't mean to sound harsh. I don't mean to sound like mean about it, but it is what it is. Both of them are not great people.
Right.
They're not great guys.
Right.
They win. I give them that.
Yep.
I give them that.
But at what cost?
They threw Yuki into that team because of the sponsorship. They didn't really give him a fair chance. They gave him unfair expectations. And then he proved those expectations and he proved them wrong.
Right.
They just overlooked him every time.
Every time.
And it's the same thing with Daniel Ricciardo.
100%.
The same fucking thing. Because Daniel Ricciardo was the only guy that pace-wise was on Max's ass. And won races too over Max.
Let's go back to when Daniel had that warm up at Red Bull
Yep.
after a break.
Yep.
Christian who loves the shit out of a good piece of Daniel Ricciardo,
That he does.
said, "Get in the seat and let's see what you can do."
Yeah.
Now, we don't know the exact times that was set at that practice,
Very true.
but it was said on record. Christian said it would have given Max a run for his money.
Absolutely.
Now, if you read between lines really well, it means it was like neck and neck, potentially faster than Max.
I thought so.
And there's been no one, like you said,
Yeah.
that has even gotten close in that potential in that car.
Exactly.
In that car. So why they didn't just bite the bullet at that moment and get Daniel back in that car,
I don't know why.
I think it was Helmut who didn't like Daniel.
Yeah.
Where Christian should have fucking put his big boy pants on and just put Daniel straight in the seat.
Yeah.
We would be in 100% different landscape of Formula One
It'd be so different.
because Daniel would be in there.
So different.
Lawson and Yuki would be in the Racing Bull.
Yep.
Completely different. And then that would flow on again from all the other cars from there.
But in a way, like you said, I think that gives them a chance to prove themselves in the Racing Bull to maybe get promoted. Then they can decide at the
Right.
end of the season, hey, is it going to be Liam or is it going to be Yuki?
Right.
And you gotta do that based on results.
Right.
You can't just do it because Liam had 2 bad races and we're just gonna replace him because we should have replaced him with
Right.
Yuki before.
Right.
I feel like if you put them in the same car with like Racing Bulls, you go off that season who had the better results, which ultimately, let's be honest, is probably going to be Yuki.
Yeah.
Then you have your answer.
Well, the analytics, I think Yuki was better
Yeah,
driver
he was much faster
in the same car
in the same car.
last year.
But I don't like. Okay, it's the best way to describe it is you have Daniel Ricciardo, you have Liam Lawson, you have Yuki Tsunoda.
Yeah.
You have all 3 drivers.
Yeah. Perez also
And
knocking on the door.
Sorry. and
Knocking on
Perez.
the door.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go with those 4.
Yeah.
Perez and Daniel have won races.
Yes.
That's a proven fact.
They're
That's-
race winners.
Literally, that
Race
is a
winners.
proven. That is
Yes.
a proven stat. The other 2, they have potential. They have the pace. They're fast. They just don't have the results yet.
Right.
So, yeah, Daniel's a little older. Checo's a little older. Why wouldn't you just put Ricciardo back in the car? Because he can win in a Red Bull car. There's no doubt about it. I hate to say it because I'd never wanted him to be at Red Bull, but he dominated at Red Bull.
100%.
And-
Well, he only left Red Bull
yeah.
because he saw Helmut and Christian favoring on Max,
Well, yeah.
which was, in my opinion, the mistake that they made
Yep.
that has ruined their championships since Daniel left.
Exactly.
And it's ruined Daniel's career. It's ruined
Agreed.
Perez's career.
Yep.
It's now ruined Liam's career.
Yeah.
And potentially Yuki's.
Because
They've just
Yeah.
fucked up from day one.
they can't get it right. They can't get it right.
I think this is where teams need to really organize on what clarifies and what dictates a number 1 driver is.
Exactly.
I think you can't favor it because of potential, which is what they did to Max against Daniel.
Exactly.
And look at them now. Like they've done the same thing with Yuki against Liam.
Yeah.
Yuki's put the time in.
Right.
He's put in the work. I think he's had a podium at
Yeah.
one point.
He has.
So he's already proved that he's a better driver than Liam.
Mm-hmm.
But then they've overridden Yuki to go to Liam at the beginning of the year. It's your strategy of long-term plan is fucked.
Yeah. Oh,
You're looking at it the wrong way.
It's not
Red
even,
Bull.
Yeah, it's not even close to like what it could be because like if I said if you go back and you do it based on results only.
Yeah.
Yeah, Checo didn't have a great year last year. Let's call a spade a spade. He did not have a good year last year. He crashed a lot.
Right.
Daniel, unfortunately, whenever he got back into the Racing Bulls car and he spun out
After he broke his wrist.
Yeah, after he broke his wrist, he was
Fucked
not
him
the
up.
same. That's a hard thing to do because you have a lot of pressure and a lot of tension on your hands and your wrist driving that car with the
Right.
steering wheel.
Right.
So I don't think he really got a fair shake on that.
No.
Let's just be honest.
And probably came back a little too early.
I think he definitely came back a little. I think he was 2 or 3 weeks too early.
Yeah.
And Liam, they were impressed by the speed and the certain things. I think they were impressed by Singapore, what he did
Yeah.
got into the results.
That was
and
that was the race that changed his trajectory.
I think so. And
Yeah.
then Yuki, I mean, if you watched last season of Drive to Survive, he wrecked a lot in a lot of ways, and he was very frustrating as a driver. He got really frustrated and he make mistakes. But
Yeah.
let's be honest, between him, Daniel, and Liam and Checo, all four of them have made major mistakes when coming driving that car.
Well, let's go back.
Yeah.
Is it based on the pressure of them as a driver or based on the pressure from the higher ups, Helmut and Christian?
It's definitely the higher ups.
Well, there you
It's
go.
def- it's
So,
definitely
and that's
the
what
higher
I'm saying is, yes, Max is a hard person to be in the shadow of,
Right.
but it's not Max that's causing the issue. I think it's also Christian and Helmut,
Yeah.
who are fucking on your back, leaning over
The
you
entire time.
the whole time.
Yeah.
You might be the only person sitting in that car. You got Horner on one side, you got Helmut on the other.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah.
That's what's causing the issue in the team. Look at Vasseur. Fucking, let's go completely opposite.
Yeah, for Ferrari.
Laughs, jokes,
Yeah.
puts the energy into the team, makes it lighthearted. Look at the potential of where the team has gone since he walked in.
Relaxes the team.
Was it 12 months, 24 months ago?
24 months ago? Yeah.
And look what they're doing.
It's totally polar opposite.
Fucking HP as a major sponsor. They've
Yeah.
got Lewis Hamilton sitting in there.
Legend.
They've got people leaving Red Bull, Mercedes to come across.
Jumping ship.
Jump and ship. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not a driver that will always make that happen. It's going to be the higher ups.
It's got to be the team.
Look at Red Bull.
Yeah.
They've had people leaving. Andrew Newey. They've had all these people jump ship. But the drivers all want to sit in that seat. So there's an image issue that's coming on
Agreed.
from an outlook compared to an internal.
No, for sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just, sometimes like we were talking about earlier, with ex-girlfriends and all that stuff, shit ain't sweet on the other side.
That's right.
You might think it is. It might be good for a while, but shit ain't sweet on the other side all the
Till
time.
you mow it.
You know. And then that's like the thing. Like then you get over to like a situation like, with Ferrari and, Vasseur and all them.
Yeah.
And you get Lewis Hamilton. You get the golden ticket, bro.
Let me tell you.
You get the golden ticket. You can't fumble it. And he hasn't.
I feel
And he
like
hasn't. That's us. We're the golden tickets.
Hello, Rob. Welcome to Chase's Place.
Yeah.
I think the Ferrari's been lucky because they knew they could sign on Lewis,
Agreed.
and they used 2024 as let's get all the mistakes out.
Yep.
Let's clear ship. Let's get it all fresh. Because once he steps into that seat, it's our only chance.
Yeah. You got a 7-time world champion.
Potentially,
Should be 8.
if it goes bad,
Yeah.
If it goes bad for Ferrari, I kind of feel like Lewis is done end of this year.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, honestly, I mean, I know he signed a 2+1, so he's got guaranteed 2 years plus the third year.
I don't know if it'll do
Yeah,
two.
I don't know if he will. But if he does, though, let's say this year goes well.
Yeah.
Like I said, they get, he's
Let's say they get second overall
right.
in the manufacturers.
Or maybe, maybe he starts collecting, let's say he gets a couple more wins.
Yep.
He starts collecting, he starts building up in the driver's team, gets a little bit more motivated up top to say
Mental.
next year
Mhm.
with the new regulations, if they do happen,
Right.
because that's a thing now with the cost cap.
Correct.
And the hybrid engines going away.
Right. Talking about V10.
We're talking about V10.
2026 was supposed to be the changeover to a V. No, they were changing the hybrid system.
Yeah, hybrid.
Now they're
system.
talking about changing everything to 2028 with a V10 in it.
Yeah, but with the
Jesus.
with the 2026, everything is even. It's an even playing field.
Correct.
Now. So where everybody else, if you win constructors championship, you get multi millions, hundred
Right.
some millions.
Right.
Second place, just a little bit less. Third place, a little bit less. Fourth place, a little bit less. And then you get to fifth place. You're probably creeping on where you thought you would break even.
Right.
And then after that, dog shit.
You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, you're like,
We're gonna need
you're
to-
like, dude, we can't even fabricate
We need-
these parts.
We need to kiss some babies and shake some hands. That's going to happen.
Talk to the Pope for you.
Yep.
But no, it's just when that comes into play, I think it could be something that he takes a long look at, and if it's an even playing field and he can win a lot of races even after this year,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
It's tough to say.
that those 2 years can be guaranteed. That +1, I don't know if it is.
Yeah. Well, I think
And I
that
hate to
falls
say
on
it.
that falls on Vasseur. He's
I
going
think
to be
so.
he's going to be sweating under the collar if the team just is a little bit in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
it's enough for Lewis to say, I'll do a year and that's it.
We got potential.
Right.
Yeah.
But if it drops off, definitely I think Lewis is out. If they keep pushing and get up in that manufacturers, I think Ferrari have got themselves a 3+ year driver.
Agreed.
Definitely.
I think this though. I think that him and Leclerc, with the way the schedule's set up,
Yeah.
I think they can get 3 wins each.
Easy. I
Easily can get 3
I think the
wins.
team's
each.
there. I think the race is ready to be won, and I think that's basically where it's at.
Yeah, it's just time will tell
That's it.
on that. But honestly, I mean, it's gonna be an interesting rest of the season to see how Yuki does in that seat. See how Liam does going back to Racing Bulls.
We're going to talk about Red Bulls. We end up talking about Ferrari.
We got to talk about Ferrari.
Liam Lawson.
Yeah.
If you listen to this,
Come on the podcast.
It wasn't your time.
It wasn't your time, fam.
Wasn't your time, brother. Prove yourself in a Racing Bull.
Yeah.
You might get a team at the end of the year. That's about it.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. Red Bull.
It
was
is what it
never. It
is.
was never your thing.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean you're not a good driver. I think you're an excellent driver. I just think Red Bull is not the team for you.
You just gotta have your time.
That's right.
And then honestly, like for me, and like we were saying earlier, like I'm very excited to see what Williams is gonna do. I'm very excited to see what they do. Mercedes, as a former Mercedes guy, because of Lewis, I don't really give a shit anymore. Honestly,
Right.
like I don't care for George Russell. Kimmy, I have no problems with. Toto, I mean, you prioritize the wrong guy,
True.
and you're gonna see the results that bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
And that's what's gonna happen because George makes a lot of mistakes. Right now, it seems sweet.
Yeah.
But like we said earlier, shit ain't sweet on the other side.
That's right.
Because he makes a lot of mistakes. Kimmy, we don't know anything about other than these first 2 races because he's only 18.
That's right.
So, but we'll see. And then everybody else, I mean, whatever. McLaren's
It is what it is.
McLaren's tip top shape.
It is what it is.
Everybody else.
McLaren's stretching ahead.
Whatever.
That's obvious.
Yeah.
But I think Red Bull can't win championships with one driver,
No, they can't.
and Yuki's got a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah.
If he can prove himself by getting in the top 10 over the next 3 races,
Yeah.
I think he's got a seat.
I think so. But I think, honestly, like I haven't said anything, but I've already made plans for us to go to all the USA races. I already got things working for us.
There we go.
With the connections. But
There we go.
yeah, so obviously F1 preview, Chase Basher show with Paul again. I know we talked about his career last time, but now you got the 2 of us talking F1, which is what we do in our friend group all the time.
This is just an extended version
Yeah.
of what we do when we
Yeah.
see each other.
Yeah, exactly. Even when we're out with women, we still talk about F1. That's all that we do. So,
Mhm.
but everybody, thanks for listening, and join us next time, whatever that might be, and hopefully we don't mess up the recording again. So,
Yeah, don't mess it up like Liam.
I'll get sent away, so or benched
Or benched.
or benched. But
See you guys.
follow us on everything, and we'll talk to y'all soon.
Bye.
Have a good one.